Welcome to the postcast where the Utah Jazz defeat the Orlando Magic tonight, 97-93, an inauspicious beginning, sparked by Alec Burks. And the Jazz are able to pull off the win, 97-93. Bunch of huge plays late, going either which way. But really, the story of this game, unquestionably, Ron, is Alec Burks comes off the bench, sparks the Jazz, then the young kids, Cantor, Favors, Hayward, and Burks, with Earl Watson at the helm, lead the Jazz back and get them a road win tonight. It may have been closed out by Millsap and Jefferson and the veterans, but those guys were really invaluable tonight and got this team a win.
Well, after trailing by 16, and then the Jazz fighting back, and then the Magic in that third quarter actually went up, 12?
Yes.
Up to that point. And then the young guys really started to take over the basketball with hustle plays and playing some good defense, moving without the basketball. Hayward started to make things happen out there on the floor. I love this game tonight because he played without the basketball. He played with the basketball. He made back cuts. I mean, he did everything that you would expect a whole team to do.
Well, we're going to start with him. Let's start with his defense on Aaron Aflalo. Aflalo really gave Randy Foye the business in the first and third quarters, and Aaron Aflalo does not score on Gordon Hayward tonight.
Yeah, Aflalo ended up taking 19 shots and making 9, but watching him defend Aflalo, fronting him when he was trying to post him up, and just overshadowing him, and so he could not run off screens. I mean, he really defended him well, to the point where Aflalo just gave up because, as I mentioned earlier, he was just standing on the weak side of the floor, just standing there, because he like he didn't want to get into the play or not. But great job there by Gordon Hayward. I know we were talking about Alex Burks.
We can go. Let's go there. I mean, we'll go to Alec Burks. And Burks tonight played 20 minutes, obviously his season high. He had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and he brought a spark to an offensively challenged basketball team as of late. And
what he does, David, is what no other player does on this team. And, well, Gordon will do it. But he does something with the basketball. He's a penetrator, and no one else on this team actually tries to do that. And you can always count on him getting to the free throw line. That type of energy, running up and down the floor, he rebounds better than anyone thought he could, or now that he gets a chance to. But he was the spark, and he actually got things going, I think, with his energy.
His rebounding may be as important to this team as anything, because the defensive rebounding of this team at times is really troublesome. I mean, again, it happened in the fourth quarter. Again, tonight you have the fourth quarter only box, and I have not looked at it. But for whatever weird reason, this Jazz team is 29th, if not 30th in the NBA in defensive rebounding in the fourth quarter. And we saw it again tonight where they allowed Orlando to have 5 offensive rebounds on 13 opportunities. I mean, You can't survive that way. This team has to be better at that. They did that. The other thing you can't survive doing is playing offense the way the Jazz did for the last 4 or 5 nights. And I thought we saw a different offensive team tonight. We saw some UCLA cuts coming down the middle of the lane. We saw picks being set to free guys on the pick and roll. And it was almost, and even not to totally isolate Paul, but I guess I'm isolating Paul. He came back in the game, and on the first pick he slipped it, and nothing happened on the play. And the next 2 picks he actually set a good pick. He got fouled, went to the free throw line. It was as though, sometimes coaches will use a phrase that they've exposed themselves. The Jazz exposed themselves in the last 4 or 5 games. If you don't execute and you don't set the picks you need to set, you're not good enough to survive. And they were much better executing tonight.
Let's back up the season a little bit and go back to that those stretch where the Jazz were playing so well, moving without the basketball, pushing the ball up the floor, moving their bodies and making things happen. Then they went into that little slump area where they were just basically playing a half-court game. You and I have talked about all season long about setting good picks, especially that UCLA cut. If you run a good route there and you set a good screen, you can make some things happen. But hopefully, when you're watching game films, that you'll be able to watch this ball game here and see what those screens will do, because Al and Paul, both of them slip screens all the time. And so what that puts you in is in a tough situation to execute your offense, because that first screen, or in any screen, you just can't get it done.
Jazz able to find a way. I mean, they just did things much better. And the defense still is a long way away, but really, the defense of the first unit's a long way away. And I don't know if it was because Mo Williams was out and they weren't used to and comfortable to what was going on with Jamal Tinsley on the floor in that group, but they got outscored 15-7 by the first time out. They got outscored 8-0 run to open up the third quarter before there had to be a timeout. The defense was, in the second quarter, they held the Magic to 7 of 19 shooting, and in the fourth quarter, they held the Magic down as well to 6 of 19 shooting. So the defensive problems tonight, quite honestly, were that first unit. And I think there's been a call to action on that because the second unit was so good tonight, and it wasn't one of those nights where Ty protected them and they only played second-tier guys. They played against Orlando's main guys for much of the night. They simply got tired and ran out of gas late. Paul and Ty had to go back to the guys who then closed it out. But it'll be interesting to see because I think this was a telling night tonight of what Tyrone got off the bench defensively.
Exactly. You looked at the amount of minutes. Gordon played 25 minutes or 26 minutes. 17, 18 for Favors, 21 there for Earl Watson. Cantor with 16, 21 minutes for Alec Burks. So those were great. I mean,
and those
that's
all
exactly
increase.
And the Jazz ended up
like
beating this team again here tonight, David. They shot 43% from the field and beat the Orlando Magic, who shot 50%. The last time these two teams met, the Jazz shot 41% and still won the basketball game.
Because they don't go to the free throw line.
Because they don't go to the free throw line. They had 15 attempts. The Jazz had 25 and made 18. But that all starts with guys like Burks putting the ball on the floor, going to the hole, and getting the defense into a scramble.
Jazz are able to win it tonight. They win it by the final score of 97-93. They go to a game above 500, having played 18 of their first 29 on the road. They have now played 18 of their 41 already on the road with 30-plus left at home. That's a big deal. And they are above 500. Now, this next week is big. They got the Warriors on the 26th, the Clippers on the 28th. We head to L.A. for a game on the 30th as well. So these next three are big.
Against the Clippers.
Against the Clippers, and two of them are home. Yeah, we have to play the good team in L.A.
Yeah.
The two of them are at home, so come get your tickets at UtahJazz.com. On behalf of Ron, have a very happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy yourself. We'll be back with you on the 26th against the Warriors.